hope that I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
So this is the agenda that I have in mind. Like I did not get a chance to prepare the PPTs and all. So I've just written down few points. So I will just touch upon them. So what are the basic career opportunities that we have in mind when we are doing computer science engineering or we want to move into the IT industry? So the first one is like the software developer path that everyone knows about. Either you can go into the service-based companies and or the product-based companies. The work is kind of similar, only that you are working on a product. It may be that you are working on someone client's requirement that usually happens in service-based companies like Infosys, Wipro. So they generally have the clients and they have the specific requirements. So we are working on that so that we are able to deliver the product. And in product-based companies like Microsoft, Amazon, in these they have their own product, and generally the development happens so that it eases the product of their it eases the convenience of their customers. So suppose I'm working on Amazon payment or let's say Microsoft Windows 11. So that is a career path for the SD. And then we have the data analyst. So right now we see that there is a lot of data everywhere in the website or any other portal that we go. We see that they require our personal information like email, then our average income somewhere it is required, or age, gender. So based on all these things, we have there are some machine learning algorithms running in the background that analyze this data and help us in making business requirement so that we are able to profit from those decisions. Suppose I want to sell a product in Uttar Pradesh or I want to sell a product in Kerala, Tamil Nadu. So I'm not sure whether you are aware of that or not, but in Uttar Pradesh, because the income and the purchasing power is less of the people, you will find a small packaging of the products like shampoo, soaps, etc. Whereas the spending power is more than South India. So generally there we have big sachets and big bottles of shampoos and body lotions and all. So whenever there is a new product in the market, first the market research is done, and the market research is done based on the user feedback as well as on the data. And currently the more weightage is given to the data points. So this is about the data analyst role, and then we have the data science role. So what happens here in the data science role is, I will just briefly differentiate between data analyst and data science. So when we get a large amount of data, so we need to clear it out first, so that we are able to make some, uh, like what should I say, some meaningful decisions out of it. So there are some machine learning algorithms that are being implemented, and there is a lot of research that is happening on each company's part. Like it is specific to the companies because it is depending on the type of the data. Like suppose Netflix would have some other type of data, whereas Microsoft or Amazon would have some other type of customers as well as their data. Okay, I hope that you get my point. So, in data science, we apply those machine learning algorithms, we clean the data, and then we pass it to the data analyst team, where they analyze the data with respect to the business in which they are doing. And then they come out with business outcomes and then take the decisions so that it can impact the business. And the fourth and the most interesting part is the quant trader. So, currently, if you see in the developed markets like Europe, Netherlands, Hong Kong, and in US. So there 95% of the trades that are being taken by the robots or the algorithms that are being implemented in place. So here the quant trader, like if you have heard about the salaries that are being offered in IITs, that is offered for the quant trader role. Generally 1.5 CR is the current benchmarking with respect to the current market compensation that is being offered for a fresher at quant trader role. So this is a highly prestigious job, and like currently they are only from the top three or four IITs, but recently they have opened up their doors and they are like hiring off campus also. So this is one of the most lucrative and the sought after career right now, because in India it is around the percentage of the trades that is being taken by the robots, it's 30 to 45%, and it is expected to grow to 90-95% in the 4 5 years. And there are a lot of market opportunities in India because we have two trades, basically two, what should I say, two exchanges, National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. So there is a price disparity between them. So these arbitrage strategies that are being there can be implemented in Indian markets as well. Okay, and then we have the DevOps engineer. So what does a DevOps engineer do? Currently, when I push a code or something like that, you must have heard about CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. We don't see any downtime right now. Like whenever we see like WhatsApp has gone out for 5 minutes or it has gone out for 10 minutes or YouTube is down for 10 minutes, we panic like why this is happening, because we are used to seeing like close to 99.9% availability. So this is the role of DevOps engineer to maintain the code and to see that whether you are able to make the code run smoothly. And also, like whenever you push the code and keep it in the master repository and all, so there are multiple people that are being contributed to that main branch. So all these things are being handled by the DevOps engineer, and also the cloud deployment part, handling the databases that are being present on the cloud, handling the capacity, the API request, the load balancer, everything is handled by the DevOps team. So it is also a very good career option. And right now, if I say all the big tech companies have a very strong DevOps team, because if you want to roll out an update or do something with your code, or you want to push an OTA or something like that, so you need all the pipelines in place so that there is no downtime or it is not impacting your current user base. So these are briefly the career opportunities. There might be some other also, but I'm not sure. Like these are the broad five categories that I can think of. So let's move on. Like what are the preparation plan for all these things? One second, yeah. So for SD role, that is the most sought after. I would just say for SD role, I'm yeah. So for SD, whatever we require in the industry is basically for a fresher, I would say that only the focus is on data structures and algorithms. Like I have given many off-campus rounds as well as on-campus rounds, and I would say like out of 4 or 5 tech interviews that are being taken, four would be based on DSA for a fresher role, less than 1 years of experience. And apart from that, there would be a general round of questions around what you have done in your college, like general projects, not very high-fi projects, general projects which have the API implementation or the front end implementation that you have done. So they will just ask about your projects and then some basic questions around operating system, computer networks, and DBMS. So this is all about the SD. They will not ask anything else. Like they will not expect you to know data science, stats, nothing of that sort. They will not ask you. They will just ask data structures and algorithms. Even if you go to Google, Amazon, Microsoft, any company you name. And apart from that, if you want to, there is a set of companies that if you want to crack, you need to like, follow the competitive coding path. So these companies are basically DShaw, Media.net, Coordination, and one more is there, Zeta and Uber. Apart from all these five companies, if you are following data structures and algorithms like general lead code level questions, medium art, then I'm pretty sure that you would be crack most of the interviews. Apart from these five companies, because the main focus of them is like they pay really well, but they want to hire really smart people and who are consistent. So what happens in competitive coding is like you see a problem, and when you see a problem, so it is not very easy to understand because the problem itself is full of like one page if you have seen in the coding competitions. First, you have to understand the problem, and then you need to like work on it. You need to design the smartest approach in order to solve it. So this is what this company needs, and they also pay like top of the market. So apart from these five companies, you can crack any company if you are not following the competitive coding path and you're just doing basic DSA and normal projects. So this is about DSA, well, SDE part, and then we have the data analyst part. In data analyst, currently what is the trend is most of the things that are being happened is on Power BI. Like all the presentations and everything is happening on Power BI or Tableau. Okay. So these are the two softwares that you need to learn. Apart from this, SQL is very important because you are analyzing the data, and whenever like the machine learning or the algorithms that are being used to clean up the data, they generally store it in the SQL format because it is a structured database and it is very easy to access. And these data analyst guys are not that what should I say? Uh, like they can be from various teams, so they might not be that technical sound. So suppose like I have a marketing team and my product is selling soaps or basic FMCG goods. So it might happen that he is an MBA guy and it is doing the market research. So he just knows Power BI, Tableau, SQL. So they are not very technical sound. So for that we need to learn these skills, SQL, Excel, and I think that this must pretty much do it. So this is for the data analyst role. And then we have the data scientist path. In data scientist path, like it is generally recommended to do an MS or a postgrad degree or a PhD because most of the researchers that are hired in top MNCs are generally from MTech, ISC, basically ISCs, IITs, or they have done their masters abroad. So I won't recommend this path because data scientist jobs are less. Plus, it is very tough for like everyone to get into it because they generally hire selectively and they hire from the top IITs and that too masters or PhD students. So this is not a recommended path. If you are really interested, then I would prefer that you should be going for a master's degree and then you have to choose a specialization and thesis and based on the research that you have done, then you can only get a good position at an R&D level, basically. So if you are getting a job in a startup something, it would be mostly like data analyst. It would be a data scientist role per se. So I don't have much experience in data scientist for the past, so I would leave this as it is. And then we have the quant trader. So if you want to be a quant trader, you have to maintain a very good code chef or code forces profile. An master would work or above that, and then you have to be very good in probability and stats. You need to focus on puzzles. Then you have to also read about some financial topics like what are derivatives, just the basic things. What are like derivatives, how you buy and sell a stock. Uh, Being an engineer, they don't actually expect much from you, but at least you should be able to convince them that you have some financial background so that it gives them a sense that you have some interest in the subject and you are willing to work hard and learn the subject more. So this is like the main part here is the probability and stats. Like they would grill you for 2 3 rounds, and apart from that, calculus is very important for this. And what else was there? And for DevOps engineer, I would say that you can go for AWS certifications. मतलब a complete command you should have on Linux. DevOps, you have Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins. So you can follow all these things. Like you can easily learn these through Udemy courses. So DevOps in AWS, I would tell you that there are 250 certifications. And even if you pass like 4 or 5 certifications, it is very easy for you to get a job, even at fresher level for DevOps engineer. And right now, every team has their own DevOps engineer for maintaining the pipeline and all. Like suppose I work in Hotstar, so the payments team, the subscription team, every team has their own set of DevOps engineer to handle the pipeline and the code base that is there. So this is also a good career path. And I would also share you some of the resources that you can follow online. So there are some YouTube channels that you can follow. For DSA, I would tell you. For DSA, there is one guy known as Aditya Verma. He has a very good playlist on DP. And then I came across a channel known as Pep Coding. They have all the free resources for DSA algorithms. And what I would suggest you is that you can go to LeetCode or any other platform that you like, and you just try solving that problem and go through the discuss section where other people have solved the problem in different ways. So that would actually benefit you a lot because for the same problem that you were thinking, you would get multiple approaches. And suppose you are stuck in some problem, so you can just go to like YouTube and search that problem name. Definitely, you will find some solution. So if you are more comfortable with like audio video wala kind of thing that you want a lecture for that, so you can just go to YouTube and type like say for example you're typing lead code problem 34 solution. So there would be many people that would have actually like solved it in a video fashion and they would be explaining you on YouTube. Okay, so YouTube is a very good option for you. YouTube, there are multiple channels again. And there is a channel known as DurgaSoft, from which I studied like multi-threading and concurrency for Java. So it was very good. DurgaSoft, Telescope, Java Brains, and then multiple other channels. Like these are just Code with Harry for front end. So these are the things that you can follow. And for the data analyst part, like currently there are some channels known as Centedex, and there is one Python programming channel. I'm not sure, but you will find many like courses online, many playlists for Python programming. SQL is present everywhere, even it is taught in your college, so that shouldn't be a problem. Excel is the basic thing. So that's all. And for probability and stats, you can follow MIT OCW. I can guarantee you that this MIT OCW is like the best for probability and stats. Okay, and one more thing I want to tell you, like uh, I'm not recalled to, I'm not. So there is a question from Naman. So he's saying, can you scroll through the slides? Arey, I will share this notes. Don't worry about that. I will upload it in the drive and send it to you guys. Okay? No, sure not. And I'm not able to recall, but there is a Nobel Prize winner like who is teaching on MIT OCW, and he has taught financial markets and applied mathematics. So that is also a very good resource. Like if you are very much interested in probability and stats, so I will just write it MIT OCW and applied mathematics. Applied stats or applied mathematics. I'm not sure about the name. And yeah, so this is about the data analyst part. And then we have the quant trader. So for quant trader, you need to follow like a lot of things. There are some books like Hard on the Wall Street, Hard on the Wall Street, and this is 50 Wall Street puzzles. And there is a book on applied mathematics by Dan Stefanka. One second, I will Google the name. So there is a book by Paul Wilmot that you can follow. Paul Wilmot, Quantitative Finance, and Dan Stefanka. Okay, so these are the two books that you can follow in order to prepare for the quant trader role. For DevOps, I would suggest that you can just follow Udemy. There are a lot of courses in which they will provide you basic insights. So that is more than enough for a fresher role, and then you can follow AWS certifications. Even Google Cloud certifications you can follow. It is also free now for the students. So these is about the preparation plan, how you can prepare all these things. And and let me just discuss like how you can apply for off campus. So like if you are very much confident, so you can crack the companies on campus, like whatever the best company that is you are getting and you are able to secure a job on campus. But if you want to try for off campus, I would say that the best time to apply here is from October till March. Okay, and for this you have to actually maintain a list of companies that you want to get into, and every week or so just go through their career page, because I've seen that off campus I gave the interviews for Microsoft, DShaw, Adobe, Atlassian, and many other companies. So they are always hiring, and these hiring generally comes between October and March. So you have to make a list of which companies, like let's say you have made a list of 50 companies, then every week try to go through their career portal at least once, or at least reach out to their recruiters and ask them, when is the new job posting gonna come for freshers? I want to apply off campus. So if you will get in contact with the recruiters on LinkedIn or let's say on Naukri.com, so you would be much aware about the new openings and you wouldn't miss out on that, because there is one thing like you are being rejected from the interview or you have not qualified it, but there is some other regret like you were not able to even apply it. So at least you should be going through the website and put in some effort so that you are aware about the openings. So this is one thing, like this is one thing, and always have your updated resume. Always have your updated resume. And one more thing is reach out to your LinkedIn connections and company HRs. Okay. So they would actually take you into consideration if they have any openings. Like I remember that I reached out to VP of Engineering of Jovio, and he scheduled an interview like in next 2 3 days with me. So that is one thing that you can leverage LinkedIn for. That you can utilize your connections in very good way. So this is one way, and while even if you get a job on campus, try to be in touch with competitive coding and the data structures all apart. Because let's say that there is some opportunity and that you really want to apply to. So and if you're not prepared, so that would be an issue. So if you are planning to apply for off campus and you don't see any upcoming opportunities or openings, don't get disheartened. Just keep trying on the DSA part and be prepared with the basic. Whenever there would be an opportunity, might be a little late, but whenever it is there, make sure that you are prepared well. So this is all about off campus, and I've also made a list like how many companies that actually hire off campus. So B, Shaw, Amazon, Microsoft, Hotstar, Myntra, Adobe, TCS, Infosys. There are two competitions. One is for TCS and one is for Infosys. So they also hire off campus. So you can also apply there for this. And this also happens in September to August, or August, something like that. So this is a list of companies that hire off campus. So let's say like what are the other opportunities that we have in college? So one is the Germany program. It is a fully funded program. You don't have to pay for the flight tickets, and it for this you are eligible after your second year and third year. So if you are into research and you want to go abroad, so generally the stipend here is like 700 to 800 euros, and it can easily cover your living cost. Plus they provide you with the flight tickets and all, and it would be a wonderful experience. And then we have the MIT ACS Canada. It is popularly known as MITAX. So this is also the same thing. It is a fully sponsored research program in the Canadian universities. So if you are into research and you want to like get a foreign exposure, so it would be very good. An important point to note here is like your CGPA for the DAT program should be 8.5 plus, And for MIT ACS, it should be 9.5 plus because it is highly competitive. And apart from that, you can apply for foreign internships as well as placement. Like in London, we have Bloomberg, Meta, and Booking. Booking.com is in Netherlands, Amsterdam, and Rotterdam. And in Dublin, we have D-Shaw and Amazon hiring currently. And if you want to build a stellar resume, so these would these possible like opportunities would definitely help you. And then we have the online coding competitions, and the main one is like ACM ICPC. It is world renowned. Then we have the Kickstart, Google Kickstart. Then we have Facebook Hacker Cup, and there are competition which is hosted by Code Nation. Like it is also one of the prestigious one in India. And if you secure a rank here, like let's say under 100 or 100, 150, you would be definitely called for an interview. And their pay is also top of the market, and it also happens like twice a year. So that is also a good opportunity. Then we have the Credit Suisse hiring challenge, and TCS and Infosys also have their online hiring drives. So this is about it. And make sure if you're following the online coding competition, don't go for GFG or some other website. Always try to focus on Lead Code, Code Nation, Code Chef, Code Forces, or Hackerman so that other people are also aware of it. Because in GFG, when you try for when you try the problems and all now, so there is a solution associated with it. So not much weightage is given in the industry for the GFG profile. So I think that I've pretty much discussed whatever like I had in my mind. So if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask. If you're not comfortable speaking online, you can just type in the chat box if you have any doubts.
If anyone is having any problem, any questions to ask to us, uh, you can either turn on your mic or else you can put that in the chat. So yes, so Savat is asking that he want to make a career in data science. So can you please comment on that?
So, as I've already discussed, if you want to go into the core data scientist role, data scientists, I mean that those guys who are into the research and all, I'm not considering data analyst as a part of data science. So, if you want to go into the R&D part, it's better if you go for masters. It should be from a quite reputed institute. Like the R&D team in a company is usually very small. The developer team and all is the developer team and all is like very big, but the R&D team on which the main budget of the company goes, so it is very small, and they hire the PhD guys and top and IITs or the ISC guys that have done their MTech. So if you want to make career in core data science, prepare well, focus on probability and stats, try to learn Python, R, Scala. These are the language in place for the current market scenarios. Try to build on some projects, try to take part in competitions on Kaggle. It is a very good resource. And try to learn on hands-on experience. Like don't go for the trap of doing courses and all. That wouldn't benefit you much. And try to understand like how the algorithms are actually implemented and try to code it on your own, either in Python, Scala, or anything would work. And also try to work on modeling on Excel. That is also important. So basically, if you are a data scientist, you have to focus on probability stats and modeling. So be very proficient in that. And if you want to really go into code data scientist role, prepare for GATE or try to give GRE and go abroad for masters. And then we have for question from Prashant: is DSS is required? and also DP is mandatory. So if you want to work on software engineering in core companies, so DSA is very much required because the entry part itself is DSA, and DP is an integral part. So if you see that there are some companies that are offering you 30-35 LPA, so they just judge you on DSA, and DP, graph, try, DP plus graph, trees, generic trees, BSTs, all these are pretty much important. Then we have question from Rajat Jain. Sir, please tell me some roadmap for internship in second year. So for second year, it is the same thing, huh? Like you need to follow the DSA only. हाँ, हिंदी में पूछ लो भाई, कोई ऐसी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. So बेसिकली रोड मैप वही रहेगा. यू नीड टू फॉलो ऑन डीएसए. डीएसए करने में मोस्टली 3 से 4 महीने लग जाते हैं. हैशिंग, स्टैक क्यूज, ट्रीज, लिंक लिस्ट, डीपी, ग्राफ, एंड इवन आफ्टर सेकेंड ईयर वाल के बाद जो इंटर्नशिप होती है ना, तो उसमें जो डिफिकल्टी लेवल होता है दैट इज मॉडरेट, नॉट वेरी हाई, बिकॉज वो सेकेंड ईयर के बाद ही जस्ट होता है. एंड उसमें शायद से कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क्स या डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम भी तुम स्किप कर सकते हो कि आई हैव नॉट येट गॉन थ्रू दो सब्जेक्ट्स, आई हैव दिस इन माय कमिंग सेमेस्टर्स, तो वो भी स्किप हो जाते हैं. सो बेसिकली वो डीएसए पजल्स में तुम्हारा खत्म हो जाता है राउंड. एंड सेकेंड ईयर के बाद तो इट इज़ वेरी इजी इफ यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट इन डीएसए. पहले 2-3 राउंड जो डीएसए के होते हैं, इफ यू हैव क्लियर that most probably that you would get a internship. So that is about it. And if you are asking about getting an internship off campus, that you want to apply in a startup or something, then you have to be very strong in your development skills. क्योंकि फिर वो ऐसे मतलब वो हायर नहीं करते, तो थोड़ा डेवलपमेंट एक्सपीरियंस भी होना चाहिए. लाइक यू शुड हैव सम बेसिक एक्सपीरियंस लाइक HTML, CSS, जावास्क्रिप्ट, थोड़ा बैकएंड में पता होना चाहिए, लाइक हाउ द APIs वर्क. तो इतनी थोड़ी बहुत नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, लाइक एटलीस्ट इफ दे आर टेलिंग यू समथिंग यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. नहीं तो 2 महीने तो सीखने में ही चला जाएगा तुम्हारा. लाइक दे विल टीच यू प्रीटी मच एवरीथिंग, बट थोड़ा बेसिक इज एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम योर एंड ऑल्सो. So second year के बाद यही होना चाहिए that you focus first on DSA, and it's better if you get a opportunity on campus. If not on campus, then you can do a little bit development कि APIs कैसे call होती है, web browser कैसे चलता है, and what are the different ways like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ये सब तो हो ही सकता है. तो ये चीज़ important है. And then Shashwat is again asking, I am a beginner in DSA. Can you give some tips on DSA and CP? तो भाई बिगिनर हो आप तो इसका एक ही मतलब एक ही है कि कंसिस्टेंसी बनाओ. रोज 2-3 सवाल अपना कोई भी ऑनलाइन कोडिंग कॉम्पिटिशन पे जाके दो. उसको ट्राई करो, नहीं आता है फिर से ट्राई करो, यूट्यूब में सोल्यूशन देखो, फिर खुद से उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करो. जो तुम्हारा डेटा स्ट्रक्चर तुम्हें वीक लगता है उसको जाके तुम दोबारा पढ़ो कि उसकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी कैसे होती है. एक वेबसाइट है cpalgorithms.com. आई विल टाइप इट cpalgorithms. तो सीपी एल्गोरिथम्स एक वेबसाइट है, उस पे जाके तुम रीड कर सकते हो. ठीक है. तो वंस यू आर गोइंग थ्रू ऑल द एल्गोरिथम्स की, जैसे क्या होता है, जैसे स्ट्रिंग एल्गोरिथम्स कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स होते हैं, जैसे मैनेगर्स हो गया, केएमपी हो गया, तो ये सब थोड़े थोड़े कॉम्प्लेक्स एल्गोरिथम्स है. तो इनके यूट्यूब में जाके आप वीडियोस देख सकते हो. हर एल्गोरिथम के जैसे डाइजेक्स्ट्रा हो गया, प्रिम्स एल्गोरिथम्स हो गया, क्रुस्कल हो गया, या डीपी की मेमोराइजेशन टेक्निक्स हो गई, टैबुलर हो गया, और ये सब हो गया. तो अगर आपको नहीं समझ में आ रही, सो यू कैन जस्ट गो टू यूट्यूब. फ्री में रिसोर्सेज है, उनको पढ़ो, 2-3 प्रॉब्लम की वीडियो सोल्यूशन देख लो, फिर एक बार कहीं से पढ़ लो, जीएफजी में आर्टिकल्स हैं, तो वो प्रैक्टिस से ही आएगा. अगर आप ऐसे बिगिनर बोलोगे तो बिगिनर ही रह जाओगे. आप जब तक कोड नहीं करोगे तब तक कोड करने की आदत नहीं आएगी. सर इंटरव्यूअर लेस टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को वैल्यू देते हैं क्या? बात ही वही है यार, डीएसए करते ही क्यों है लोग? मोस्ट ऑप्टिमाइज सोल्यूशन ही तो चाहिए होता है. इफ यू आर डूइंग फॉलोइंग अ ब्रूट फोर्स सोल्यूशन जो कि ओएन में हो सकता है, तुम उसको ओएन क्यूब में करोगे, सो व्हाई वुड ही हायर यू? वो तो ओएन वाले को हायर करेगा ना. तुम मेरे मतलब एक कंपनी की पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचो ना, कि मान लो कि अगर एक एपीआई कॉल मेरे पास आ रही है, वो 1 सेकंड ले रही है, तो और तुम्हारी वन क्यूब में चल रही है, मतलब 2 सेकंड का एग्जांपल ले लो, वन क्यूब तो वन ही हो जाएगा. मेरी एपीआई 2 सेकंड ले रही है और तुम्हारी 8 सेकंड ले रही है, तो लेटेंसी कितनी ज्यादा हो जाएगी. तो मेन पर्पस ही यही होता है कि तुम ऑप्टिमाइज सोल्यूशन सोचो, बोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ मेमोरी एंड इन टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. नहीं तो डीएसए करते ही क्यों है आदमी? टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को ही तो एनहांस करता है, उसमें ऑप्टिमाइज करता है। टाइम और स्पेस ही तो करना है, तो मकसद ही होता है डीएसए के पीछे, कि हम ये डिफरेंट डेटा स्ट्रक्चर यूज कर सकते हैं, डिफरेंट एल्गोरिथम्स यूज करते हैं, कि हमारी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ओ एन क्यूब से ओ आ जाए, ओ एन आ जाए, लॉग एन आ जाए। तो दिस इज वेरी मच, मतलब यही मेन चीज होता है यार, कि तुम। तो आई होप दैट आई हैव आंसर्ड दिस क्वेश्चन। टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, और स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी भी। Sir, we have CSE course and CSE with data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Which course is better to take? Only CSE or with additional courses? यार प्लेसमेंट देख लो, और प्लेसमेंट में क्या होता है कि कौन सा रोल हो रहा है, ऑफर हो रहा है तुम्हारी कॉलेज पे, वो तुम देख लो अगर वो करवा पाती हैं। ऑफ कैंपस एज आई हैव सजेस्टेड, मोस्टली बहुत मुश्किल होता है जाना, मतलब फ्रेशर लेवल में तो कंसिडर भी नहीं करते हैं। इफ यू आर नॉट फ्रॉम टॉप आईआईटीज, मतलब जैसे अगर इफ यू आर डूइंग, मतलब ये यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, आई एग्री। बट जो भी डेटा साइंस की अपॉर्चुनिटी जो कोर वाली निकलती है, इफ यू आर लाइक एक्सीलेंट एक्सीलेंट इन योर वर्क, थोड़े रिसर्च पेपर हो तुम्हारे पास, 2-3 रिसर्च पेपर कर लो अच्छे अच्छे, जैसे कौन से में होता है, न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स में कर लो, या फिर सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस में कर लो। ये सब जो भी टॉपिक्स हैं, इसमें तुमको 2-3 पेपर पब्लिश करने पड़ेंगे। और फिर जब तुम जाओगे, जब तुम्हारे सीवी में होगा कि दैट यू हैव डन सम वर्क, यू हैव प्रूव्ड योर वर्थ, तब जाके तुमको इसमें अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी। आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वाला जो कोर्स हो रहा है, इसमें क्या वापस जो सीएसई में तुम जा रहे हो, डेवलपमेंट में, डेवऑप्स में, ये सब में, या फिर तुम्हारे यहाँ डेटा एनालिस्ट रोल में प्लेस करके उसको आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बोलना है। तो आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर कि क्या है। और अगर तुम सच में इंटरेस्टेड हो, तो बीटेक के बाद इट इज प्रेफरेबल कि तुम एमटेक कर लो या एमएस कर लो, क्योंकि तब तुम्हारी ज़्यादा इंसाइट्स हो जाएंगी, थीसिस हो जाएंगी। और इफ़ यू आर डूइंग फ्रॉम द टॉप आईआईटी, तो भाई अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती हैं। सर, कौन कौन से एल्गोरिथम सबसे ज़्यादा पूछा जाता है ऑनलाइन इंटरव्यू में? देखो, स्ट्रिंग एल्गोरिथम सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं, फिर डीपी ग्राफ इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं। ग्राफ में डाइजेक्स्ट्रा मोस्टली पूछा जाता है, बीएफएस डीएफएस तो बेसिक है। बैक ट्रैकिंग की कॉन्सेप्ट कभी कभार पूछ लेते हैं, एनग्विन प्रॉब्लम, ये सब वाले उसका पूरा अप्रोच पूछ लेते हैं। और हैशिंग, हैशिंग काफी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसका इंटरनल हैश फंक्शन कैसे बनता है, ये कैसे होता है। तो दैट इज ऑल्सो एन इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट। एंड और कौन सा, स्ट्रिंग एल्गोरिथम्स में अगर तुम हाई लेवल पे जा रहे हो, तो रोलिंग हैश पूछ लेते हैं। ऑप्टिमाइजेशन टेक्निक में रोलिंग हैश पूछ लेते हैं। फिर डिक्शनरी डिक्शनरी वाला आ जाता है, तो ट्रायल एल्गोरिथम्स भी आ जाते हैं, TRI, ट्रायल एल्गोरिथम भी होता है। वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, स्पेशली इफ यू आर गोइंग फॉर गुड कंपनीज, जिनका थोड़ा मतलब हायरिंग बार हाई होता है। ठीक है। एंड प्लेसमेंट में ओप्स कॉन्सेप्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है। हाँ, लो लेवल डिजाइन जो पूछी जाती है फ्रेशर लेवल में, वो ऊप्स ही पूछी जाती है। एब्स्ट्रैक्शन, एनकैप्सुलेशन, पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म, फिर रन टाइम पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म, मेथड ओवरराइडिंग, ये सब तो बेसिक है, ये सब तो आनी चाहिए। और इट इज प्रेफरेबल कि तुम जो ऊप्स वाले के आंसर देते हो, तो कभी कभार वो कोड भी करवा लेते हैं। सो जावा अगर तुम फॉलो करोगे, थोड़ा इजी हो जाता है, क्योंकि उसमें बहुत ऊप्स फायदे से दी हुई है। सी प्लस प्लस में भी ऊप्स अच्छे से होती है, लेकिन उसमें जो पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म होता है ना, वो वर्चुअल फंक्शन ये सब के थ्रू हो जाता है। तो एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस इतनी नहीं बन पाती उसमें। तो जावा कोशिश करना है कि जावा में ऊप्स पढ़ लो। एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
I think there are no more question. uh, प्रशांत is asking sir DevOps फिर से बता सकते हैं क्या?
सो देखो, डेवऑप्स का जो रोल होता है ना, वो CI/CD का होता है, कंटिन्यूअस इंटीग्रेशन, कंटिन्यूअस डिप्लॉयमेंट का, जिससे कि हमारे कोड बेस का डाउन टाइम ना आए। जैसे व्हाट्सएप का ऐसा तो है नहीं कि यार कोई कोड चेंजेस नहीं हो रहा होगा, बैकएंड वाली टीम तो पूरा काम करके कोड चेंजेस कर ही रही होगी। तो वो कंटिन्यूअस इंटीग्रेट होते हैं, और उनके मल्टीपल पॉड्स होते हैं जिससे वो डिप्लॉय होता है। तो अब जैसे, और ये सब क्लाउड में होस्टेड होता है, तो एक टीम होती है AWS की। AWS के हर कंपनी, मतलब जिसमें गूगल क्लाउड यूज होता है, एजोर यूज होता है, तो सबकी अपनी अपनी टीम होती है जो कोड बेस और डेटाबेस को मैनेज करता है। तो उसको जो मैनेज करने वाली टीम होती है, वो डेवऑप्स कहलाती है। उसका काम ही है कि वो क्लाउड पूरा मैनेज करे, इंफ्रा पूरा कंपनी का मैनेज करे, कोड कैसे जा रहा है, कैसे उसकी पाइपलाइन ट्रिगर हो रही है, कैसे पॉड्स स्केल हो रहे हैं। जैसे मान लो कि आज मैं अपना एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि जैसे हॉटस्टार में एक मैच में 6 मिलियन लोग देख रहे हैं, ठीक है। अब एकदम से डिमांड बढ़ती है तो हम स्केल करते हैं उसको 12 मिलियन की लैडर पे। अब 12 मिलियन की लैडर पे यार जैसे ही हमको करना होता है तो हमको रिसोर्स बढ़ाने पड़ते हैं, अपनी रैम बढ़ानी पड़ेगी, हमारे डेटाबेस की जो कैपेसिटीज होगी एपीआई हैंडल करने की वो बढ़ानी पड़ेगी।
Uh, no, yes, you are not audible.
Okay, so I'm audible right now, na?
Yes, 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 you are audible.
सो बेसिकली डेवॉप्स वाला पार्ट जो मैं बता रहा था, तो टीम का यही फंक्शन रहता है तुम्हारे कि उसका कोड की स्केलिंग कैसे होगी, डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट कैसे होगा, और तुम्हारे ऑनलाइन रिसोर्सेज कैसे यूज होंगे, रैम रोम जो भी है वो सब ऐसे ही चलता है। सो इसके लिए बेस्ट यही होता है तुम यूडीबी से डॉकर कुबरनेटिस मतलब पढ़ लो। डॉकर एक ऐसा है, मतलब एक टूल होता है जिसमें तुमको ऑन टाइम एनवायरनमेंट लॉन्च कर सकते हो। जैसे मान लो एक कंपनी है, वो लिनक्स पे चल रही है, उसका काम लिनक्स पे चल रहा है, और उसको कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर चाहिए जैसे जावा पाइथन और कुछ भी मान लो यार, उसको इंटेलिजेंस चाहिए, कुछ भी चाहिए, तो वो एक कंटेनर बना देती है और ऑन डिमांड डॉकर उसको लॉन्च कर देता है। तो हमको वर्चुअल मशीन की बार बार नीड नहीं पड़ती है, और जो डॉकर की मशीन होती है वो 2-3 सेकंड में रिस्टार्ट हो जाती है। और एक इंस्टेंस मतलब हमको स्टार्ट करना होता है वर्चुअल मशीन में कितना टाइम लेता है, उसमें बहुत जल्दी हो जाता है, तो बहुत फास्ट प्रोसेस होता है। कुबरनेटिस का भी यही है कि वो पाइपलाइन हैंडल करता है, ठीक है, और पॉड स्केलिंग देता है कि पॉड्स में मतलब कोड कैसे जा रहा है, कोई डाउन टाइम तो नहीं आ रहा, ये सब। और पॉड्स को रिस्टार्ट बहुत अच्छे से कर देता है, जैसे एक कोड बेस हट रहा है दूसरा कोड बेस जा रहा है, तो रोल आउट बहुत जल्दी होते हैं अपडेट्स कुबरनेटिस के अनुसार। तो अगर तुमको पढ़ना है तो तुम एक बार पढ़ लो, कुबरनेटिस पढ़ लो, डॉकर पढ़ लो, एडब्ल्यूएस पढ़ लो कि क्या होता है क्लाउड डिप्लॉयमेंट, और लिनक्स जरूर सीख लेना, लिनक्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है इस चीज में। हेलो। ओएस में क्या पूछा जाता है? ओएस में तो यार नॉर्मल तुम्हारा जो पढ़ाया जाएगा वही पूछा जाएगा। एक तो वर्चुअल मेमोरी पूछ लेते हैं, फिर थ्रेडिंग पूछ लेते हैं कैसे हैंडल होती है, इंटर थ्रेड कम्युनिकेशन क्या होता है, और फिर जो तुम्हारा ब्लॉक होते हैं, जैसे जब भी तुम करते हो ना तो उसमें ओएस में कि जैसे रैम और रोम का मैनेजमेंट कैसे होता है वो पूछ लेते हैं। और फिर पेजिंग होती है, सॉर्टिंग एल्गोरिथम्स होते हैं, ओएस में भी शेड्यूलर एल्गोरिथम्स होते हैं, फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट, फर्स्ट जॉब फर्स्ट, ऐसा। तो ये सब तुम लोग जो पढ़ोगे वही पूछेंगे, कोई ऐसा बाहर से नहीं पूछते हैं, जो तुम्हारा चल रहा है वही पूछेंगे। किसी और को कुछ पूछना है? डू यू हैव गाइस एनी अदर डाउट्स?
Yes, I think they are not having any questions.
ठीक है, तो मैं एक बार ये शेयर कर देता हूँ फाइल, ठीक है।
Okay, आप चैट बॉक्स में शेयर कर दो।
हाँ हाँ, वही करता हूँ।